Welcome back to the PPM Winter Circle podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. To my right is Mr. Rodney.
Hello, folks.
In the Winter Circle podcast, that merch that could be yours is Mr. Randy.
Hi again.
And the cat in the hat is Mr. Ricky.
Hello, everybody.
Yep. And, of course, y'all can tell we got a guest with us today. And who are you?
Name's Russell Brown Jr.
Russell Brown. A lot of y'all know Russell Brown race cars. If you don't, you do now. Russell Brown race cars has been around a long time. They was actually one of the first chassis builders to call whenever I first started working here. I think it was you called up here, actually.
It's your lucky day. Your lucky day.
Always is, but always is. So we're going to dive in. Oh, go ahead.
Is my out yet or not? Is my stuff out yet or not? That's what you got, wasn't it?
It probably was, to be honest with you. It probably was.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into the backstory of Russell Brown race cars and Mr. Russell Brown Jr. himself. So let's get started. Of course, I know how this is fixing to go, but we gotta ask it. So how'd you get started in racing, Russell?
So somehow or another, my dad and my mom got together. I got popped out at the racetrack.
Okay.
Wow.
2 weeks.
Literally dirt in your blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks after I was there.
There you go. Wow.
Nah, my dad's been in it.
Does he even remember when he started Russell Brown race cars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dad can remember.
What year was that?
82, I think it is.
Yeah, I know it. Early 80s.
Yeah, it was 82. I'm pretty sure it was 82. I could be wrong. I mean, Dad can remember a lot of stuff, but there's some things he can't remember, because he's trying to remember all the other stuff. He can tell you what he ran on a car back in 85, but he can't tell you what he ate yesterday.
Right.
I
I can totally understand that.
remember the important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's important.
Exactly.
But, yeah, he started about 82, 83. That's been 42, 43 years now. I've been around it my whole life, grew up in it. Did take a sabbatical for about a year. Went off and I actually moved up in Maryville, worked up there for about a year. Didn't have anything to do with race cars, nothing. Worked at the John Deere plant that they had in Loudon. I don't even know if that place is still there or not. But just moved back home, Didn't like it there. I was a number, didn't care. Back at home, everybody knows me, knows us. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have you get a little bit of respect in that kind of stuff, and they might not let them like you, but they know you.
Yeah.
We get that a lot.
Yeah.
Just basically been around my whole life.
Yeah. How many cars do you think you've built over the years? A
Well,
bunch, ain't it?
So in the location we're at now, we started there around 94, 95. And that's when I tried to really get Dad to keep track of, serial numbering the cars and stuff like that. We're on like 561, I think. The last car we just built is my new car for this year. And it's 561. And so that was around 94, 95. So we've got another 10-year span there. And he built frames and cars at a bunch of different places. We had a place on north end of Valdosta that he wound up getting bought out. He was trying to raise me and my two sisters at the time, so he too much load for him, so he let a guy buy him out. At that time, it was called Custom Race Cars, and before that, it was B&B Chassis. Of course, we had to get away with that name because when the divorce from my mom and dad, the money situation, so we went there, and then we used to travel. I was 11, 12 years old. We had a 16-foot trailer, sheet metal brake on the back, bead roller, welder, all that attached. We would travel around to people's shops and would, put bodies on, interiors on, build the frames there at their place. We did a little bit up in Unadilla, Georgia for a guy named David Chancey, worked there for a little bit. And did stuff with, we used to go to Paul Purvis's place, who used to own Swainsboro. Did a lot of stuff there. Just traveled around a bunch until we finally kind of settled down at our place now. But I mean, I've talked with some people, a bunch of stuff, and I feel like we're probably right around 1,000, a little over, total cars.
Yeah.
and it spans. It's not just late models. We do a lot of stuff. Stock clip cars. That's really where I think most people know
that's
us from because
yeah.
of the clip cars deal. Dad's real good with clip cars.
Yeah.
We in our area, they went from late models kind of around the Have Tampa Day, and then that fell off. So the clip cars became the top class. So that's what we did a lot of that with. And we didn't really kind of get back into the late model frames around till 2003, 2004 when the clips started going away, and then the series is around, like the old National Late Model Series. They wanted to go to the full-blown late models. I think it was because, back Ray Miller had told us it was, like Barry Wright and Rocket and all them didn't want to build clip cars. But they wanted to sell cars in our area, but they didn't want to build clip cars. So they're kind of between that and, just a little politics get involved, and we got pushed towards the late model frames.
Yeah.
And
I know when I first ever heard Russell Brown, it was he was famous for that clip car. Yeah.
Really fast car.
If you wanted one, that's the car you wanted. People tell you you won't get that car.
Yeah, we've got a ton of them. I've actually, there's a lot of them still out and about. And I went and about 5 months ago, drove all the way to Plant City, Florida, and picked up one of our old cars from a guy that they had it, and his son passed away in an accident or whatever, and it's been sitting in his shop for 20 years, and they're going to run it in a limited super street type class around home, and all we got to do is bring that car back, just check everything out, make a few little updates to it, and he'll win some races with it.
Yeah.
So, how old are you now, Mr. Earl?
24.
Okay. I see it.
No,
You're under a lot of stress, ain't you?
Yeah. You see, I keep my
I
head
can-
shaved,
I can
don't you?
see it.
I was going to say, so you was what, 2 or 3 when that first met?
Nah, I'll be 46 next week.
46. What is some of the things that, like, you get asked a lot of with your race cars? Like, what's one of the most common questions you get?
We get into this stuff. There's like that question. I've thought about it, but there's like that type question, and then there's another type question that you talk about that, like, I've listened to the podcast and be like, what, things that can help racing or whatever, and that's like a buffet, man. You can you can start at any place on that thing because there's so much that could be done.
And anywhere you start's going to help.
I mean, will it? I'm doubtful, but we could talk about it. It should. We can talk about it all day long, but unless the powers that be actually do something about it, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Most questions I get is one, what did it copy off of? Which is what it's the common thing. Everybody says the same thing. And I will say, I'm not going to lie to nobody, because that's the way I am. Most people that know tell you I'm straightforward. My dad's just as bad. He's worse than I am.
Yeah.
We did, when we transitioned from that clip car into that late model, right around 04, 05, 06, 08, up to around 2009, 2010, we did have our cars were based off a black front end rocket. And you have to do something. We've been out of that type of game for 20 years, so we had to do something to try to catch up. And
Well, most of these others are based off something too.
every one of them is based off of something.
Yes.
And it's not contrary. It ain't based off a race car. I mean, I've heard people say that it's based off of something, and it ain't based off a race car. It's based off a passenger car.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
You're right.
yeah. I mean, I've dealt with clip cars long enough. I know. But you get that kind of stuff, and I mean, I don't know. I've got a few questions from people. It's like, what kind of support you can get, and I'll tell everybody, we don't. I don't want to sell a bunch of cars. I don't think my dad does neither. My dad's 73 years old. He's worked himself enough, and it's just me and him. We don't have employees. We do all the work. That's why our work's a little different than everybody else's. and I don't want that many people calling me. I feel like you lose that one-on-one basis with people. We have one that we know that calls me a lot.
You got a lot of one-on-one with him.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Technically
of
two-on-one
Well,
if they team up together.
Well, they try. It don't work, but they try. But I like that aspect of it. I want to be involved with my guys. I want them to call me and talk with me, and I want them to be respectful. And I think that's where, to a certain point, everybody, not just racers, but everybody. I think this world don't have respect anymore. Don't call me at 11:00 at night. Be courteous about that. But I mean, now you can call me on a Friday or Saturday. I know I'll help.
Amen.
But just don't take advantage of it.
We going to church here?
Dude, he's preaching right now.
Well, I mean, he. I know what he's saying. You either got to be real big, or you got to be down here smaller, and he can give that. He can build a quality car,
More personal touch,
and give that personal touch, and take care of his customers, and you can be competitive in it. I mean, I understand exactly what he's saying, because there is no middle ground.
Yeah, and I think there's part of that deal. Like I said, when I worked at the John Deere plant, I was a number there. I didn't know my name. I walked in there, hit the time clock, and that was it. And I didn't like that. And that's why I like doing what I'm doing now. As long as I've known y'all, I can call every one of y'all, and y'all know exactly. I mean, for the most part, y'all know the sound of my voice. Y'all know, even though some people want to play the game sometimes. But But y'all know the sound of my voice. I don't have to say my name, and I know who I'm talking with and stuff like that. Now, them two kind of get me a little confused from time to time. I just feel like you lose that touch with people, and I want to keep that. I don't want to get too big.
Yeah.
And I don't think my dad does neither. He, like I said, at his age, he wants to make a living, and we want to enjoy ourselves. We want to race.
Right.
But we just don't want to get out there too far.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You just can't control it.
Yeah.
That's what I was fixing to say. A lot of the bigger ones lose control. I mean, I know some stuff that's happened to them, and they actually lose control right there on the shop floor of what they're building.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can have those instances. We've had issues, and don't get me wrong, like, the worst thing I can't stand is, like I said, when we build our cars, all our cars, it's kind of a custom type deal. I don't really have patterns. I'm not like Longhorn or anybody else that, everything you're going to get in a kit that you can just pop right on. My stuff is more of a custom touch, and you got guys that like it, and you got guys that like, man, I don't like it. But at the rate that I can do it, I can spit it out fast enough. But it's just, you get to that point to where you get so much out there, and now we all know racers are notorious for this, but I'll have guys call me up and be like, well, yeah, I got such and such car, man. He's a good guy, but he just he won't talk to me. They want me to help him. And I don't mind helping some people, but there's a line that you have to draw. Because if I'm helping somebody with another car, because say that person's not helping them because of what we're talking about, they get too big, they're not
enough hours in the day. Yeah.
Right, and they're not being able to work with everybody individually. So they'll call, and then, but I can't tell them how to outrun my cars. I mean, I'd be stupid to do that. I mean, I might as well fold up and quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can put it off your table.
Well, yeah.
I totally understand, but you got people that don't don't ever really come on their mind about it. They're just grasping for some help.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're looking for any help that they can get. And if they can't get the help from the one person, then they're going to call somebody else. It depends. It might not be me. It might be somebody else. But I mean, there's also those type of racers, and we know that they talk to 10 people about the same thing. They call it, well, my car's loose, so they're going to call 10 different people, and they're going to get 10 different answers. And that's not the way to do it. You need
I
people.
tell guys all the time, I'm not going to help you set that car up 4 different ways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you're exactly right. You know, the worst thing that'll get you is, and I've got some of my customers that have done it. Now, I mean, whether they're still here or they've done moved on to somewhere else. Hey man, my car's loose. Okay, we'll do this. Well, that ain't what such and such said. Well, then why the hell did you call me? I mean, if you're gonna call them, talk to them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's my car.
Mm-hmm.
I know about my car more than anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and that kills me too.
Yeah.
That's another thing that really bugs me. You know,
I told you if you didn't want to know what Russell was thinking, no, don't ask it.
That's a fact. I'm learning.
you-
I'm learning right now.
So are you planning on racing? I know you race too.
yes,
Try to. Are
yeah.
you planning on trying?
That's a good word. Try.
Yeah.
No, that's a good word.
We've had those discussions on here too, running the business and trying to race, and especially a racing business.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
difficult.
difficult.
It is very hard. You know, that's kind of goes back to some of the questions I get asked. That's one of them. When you racing? When I can get the damn where I can race. You know, when I can stop working on everybody's stuff. You know, I mean, I get that a lot. I'd love nothing more than run speed weeks. I mean, I got speed weeks around my house, and I can hardly ever go to one.
Yeah.
Granted, do I think I'll be competitive? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't have the motor those guys got. I don't have the motor, the backing that they do, but I'd at least like to go run.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't kind of get to because we got so much work. And
Yeah.
and the other part too, and we all know, there's no off season no more.
No.
I said here a few weeks ago, next year I'm going to schedule a week of speed weeks, and I'm just going to go down there, work or nowhere.
You better make sure that you got all your stuff done, or you ain't going nowhere.
See, that's the problem.
That's where it goes.
I was talking to a guy from out of Georgia this morning. He's talking about the way racing was doing, and he said they're fixing to have a race down there this next weekend. I said, yeah, I'm in the parts business, and I said I think they race too much.
Yeah, they do.
They race too much. There's no area there where we can kind of regroup and where the fans can get a little more hungry, wanting to go back to the racetrack. And
Absolutely. We're racing so much that the fact that now it's got bland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care how many big races you put on or these so-called big races or whatever. That's another topic. Like I told you, it's a buffet. You're going to open up a whole lot right
Well,
there.
bud, we're scooping right now.
Yeah.
We're filling the plate up. Let's go.
Well, you better get 2 more.
Okay.
but
Hey,
the-
well, there's 5 of us here. We're good.
But, you know, there's racing so much. The drawback, too, and I don't think they realize that they actually hurt themselves as much as they're racing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I actually talked to a track promoter the other day. I'm friends with him. You know, sometimes he don't like what I say, and I get mad at him. He gets mad at me or whatever. But there's that mutual thing. And I told him, so we're racing too much. And he's like, well, I kind of agree. I said, well, look at it, man. I've been working. So we started working probably around November. And God forbid, that's another thing, is getting guys to bring their stuff early enough so I have enough time to get it done. But now they got to wait till after. Make sure how much mama spends on Christmas, you know, before they can see what they can do.
he's getting them all.
I'm telling you.
But, you know, I told him, I was like, you know, we're racing so much. I was like, it hinders people because you can't get the work out in time. And not only I can work as much as I possibly can. You know, my wife, she knows I work till, if I have to, I'll work till 10 midnight at night working on cars. Me and Dad's usually at that shop 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get stuff done. But I can't get the work done in time because the races are so close together. And I told him, I was like, you're losing cars that way because, like, for me, instance, I've got I got 3 cars. I've got one of them I had, because we actually had that snow come down the other weekend, I actually wound up draining the water out of the motor and kind of winterizing the motor because it's a steel block. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have time to get it ready to go and run one of those super races by the house. And that's what I was telling him. I was like, I don't have time to do it because all this work's going on. So you actually kind of hurt yourself because you're losing guys like me. Now, granted, I'm not no name guy. I'm for most part, I'm kind of a nobody when it comes to that. But I'm still a car.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from that aspect, you know, you need those guys too. You don't just need, you know, the big names. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the big names will kind of draw in, but it's guys like me or anybody else that has, I guess, like a mediocre motor level or whatever that want to come run, and with a possible chance to actually make the race, you're going to lose them because they don't have time to get their stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just, it's too much. And I've told them, I said, you know, I missed the times back when we shut down in October and we started in February. Now, here we are racing, you know, big races all the way at the end of the year. I mean, 100 grand at Alltech, you know, in December, Gateway. I mean, Gateway's a special thing, so and that's kind of cool. I take nothing from that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's kind of like a little appetizer before the season starts, you know. But it's just racing so much that, you know, it's hard for y'all to keep up, you know, trying to keep the parks going and stuff. And
I feel like the pie ain't but so big. You know, the pie, we got this pie here, it ain't but so big from, you know, wanting to race so much.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't but so much of that pie you got, you know. You just spread it out or you can do it the other way, make it easier.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just done got so far.
It's not even managed through the summer. The racing ain't to where you can. It's just bang, bang, bang. What I'm saying is even you go to the top end where they're offering to pay people well, they can't get help.
Yeah.
Because a guy looks at it and he says, "Man, I'll have to be on the road 50 weeks out of the year."
Oh man, I've had people.
That guy is harder to find, and then the guy that knows what he's doing is even harder to find.
Yeah, needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and there's so much of that. I mean, I've had guys say, like, "Well, why don't you go on the road and, you know, go work with somebody?" I'm like, yeah, if you'd asked me when I was 19, 20, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm fitting to be 46. Got a wife, got a kid, got 2 kids. I'm just not into that no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love racing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I eat it, breathe it, sleep it. I watch races every night, you know, for the most part. I'm always thinking about it. But as far as being on the road and doing that kind of stuff, it, like you say, it takes a special person to do that.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, most guys that are on the road are younger single guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So,
you won't go on the
You
road?
lost.
What?
You won't go on the road?
No, but
And it's
I'm
it's
good
a rough.
right here.
He
it's-
probably
it's
could.
rough.
Could get him a little car.
it'd have to be a little car. Like one of them little clown cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I
Wolf
would ask
car.
if I was going on the road, I'd say, how many other crewmen have we got and who are they? Because that makes it different.
Oh, yes.
Who's helping you would make a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely make it either harder or easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, along with, like you had said, you race, have raced. How does racing your car help you with the tech help when your customers call?
It helps a bunch as far as, like, you know, everybody's got different driving styles. It's usually a little easier when I can find somebody that's kind of close to my style, and usually I can watch them. You know, the first lap or two, you know, it takes me about 2 or 3 laps to kind of watch them, and I'm like, okay, you know, I can kind of relate to this one, so I know what I tell them. You know, they're going to kind of understand where I'm going with. And then you can kind of tell the guys it's going to need a looser car than you do. I mean, I like a tight race car. I'm a power driver. That's the way I like. Yeah, I think it helps. That's kind of, you know, after when we was building the car right around 2010, I told Dad, I said, oh, you know, I want to do something different. I want to do our own car. And that's where it kind of got started at, you know, me giving him feedback and us working with it with the front ends and the rear ends and stuff and with the spindles. And I know Daddy's called y'all a couple times just to kind of chat and, you know, bounce some ideas off of and stuff like that. And, you know, and kind of come up with something on our own. And that's another one of the questions, like, what's it a copy of? It ain't a copy of nothing. You know, it's our deal.
It's a Russell Brand.
Yeah, it's our deal. I wanted to get away from that what do you call it, the moniker or whatever, that we've copied a car. And if you look at every car, and that tickles me too, is the fact that, you know, you can walk up, look at a car, and oh, it's got one bar that looks the same as a Longhorn. Oh, that's a fifth Longhorn. Yeah, no, it ain't.
Yeah.
You know? But it just gives me, I don't know, I guess it's more of a personal thing. That's the fact that when somebody's talking to me, I can really put myself in the car with them. And I think that's one of the things that kind of helps me more than a lot of other people. Because, I mean, how many more people do you have? Let's say, who else we have that has, like, father-son type things? You got Trackstar. You got the Bolins.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got Freddie with Kryptonite. Freddie, that's a great guy. That wreck boy, whew, I feel for Freddie on that one. They're great people. I like Freddie. And then there's maybe one other that I might be missing.
You got the Burnhouses.
Yeah. You got the Burnhouses. I think with that, you have a little bit of a different deal with it because, like, you know, I'm going to tell you, my dad will wear me out on the way home. I'm exhausted, you know, because I'm working, trying to get the car ready, trying to drive and everything. And I don't care if it's an hour on the way home or if it's 3 hours on the way home. Well, what do you think about this? Well, what do you think about this? It's like, damn, dude, let me sleep. I'm tired. You know, I'm wore out, you know, but he wants to talk. And I know what he's doing, and it's actually, that's what's helpful. That's what makes a big difference. So when I have people call, like say Hunter, you know, when he calls, or Bruce Collins, or any of my other guys, you know, they call me and they say, well, you know, I'm a little in there to track. Usually, I've raced enough tracks to kind of know what they are and how they act. It's like, well, the car's a little loose. Okay, what stage is the track in right now? So I kind of tell myself, okay, this is what I would do, and this is what it's going to do. And I think that's where I feel like I have a little bit more advantage. It's because I've done it and I've failed it. And I can actually tell them what they're going to feel. And I think that makes a little bit more of a difference. Not this, it's supposed to do this.
It should do this.
It's going to do this.
That's what I was going to ask you earlier. It gives you a confidence that you know you're helping them make the right decision.
Yes.
I've been in the racetracks before, standing in the pits with a guy, and I know you go help guys, and they say, I thought I'm going to do this. And you're sitting there going, no,
don't do that.
No. And you tell them what to do, and then they go ahead and do what they wanted to do. And I'm standing there, and you're standing there 100% confident that they needed to do this other thing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and all you can do is just sit back and be like, yeah, I told you so. You know? I mean, and God forbid, don't go tell them they're wrong. Oh, my goodness. You tell them, see, I walk up to them and be like, I told you. I get mad at you about it.
Right.
You know, and some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
Some of them can take it pretty good. But, yeah, I think it just gives me a little bit more of a deal. Somebody, you know, says that they want to do something, or, you know, I can be like, okay, is the track blowing off? What, you know, is there a groove? Is it widening out or what? And then I can give them a little bit better educated answer, and then also tell them what it's going to do and what to expect, which I think helps them in the long run. Because at least I mean, God forbid, I've done it many times. I've thrown stuff on a car just to see what it'd do and be like, Dad, you know, Dad's like, what you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to do this right here. You think that's the right way? I don't know. I'll let you know later. Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm done.
So speaking on that, let me ask you this. You've raced for a good while, so you've transitioned from like the nylon inserted bird cages with the grease fittings. You've went to the single shear, thick bearing bird cages,
Yeah.
and now you're on probably double shear bearing. What do you feel like is the best one, and what do you feel is the differences between them?
I mean, without a doubt, the bearing bird cage, without a doubt. You know, I mean, I don't think anybody's running a nylon style bird cage anymore, but Yeah, it's just smoother. Some guys will tell you it's less maintenance, because they don't have to clean all the grease and all that stuff like that. But I mean, you need to be taking them things off every couple of races and spinning them, and not a lot of guys
They're
do
not
that.
they're not totally maintenance free.
Yeah, they're
Tech
not.
tip: spin the bird cages over.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, as long as it's a bearing, I mean, I like the shear ones just for the fact that you have more adjustability in it. That you can move, the shock mounts left, right, up, down, and just kind of move stuff around. I mean, you kind of could with the old ones. It just, you were somewhat limited to how far you can do things. But, I mean, in the end, God forbid, we've given enough damn adjustments that we're making racers. And it's just, they don't know. They're putting stuff in the wrong stuff, in the wrong holes or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, I seen a guy on Facebook the other day. He posted a picture of his car at the racetrack, and he's like, "Man, this thing is a rocket." And he showed the picture of the rear end with the tire off. He's like, "I love a simple car," and it had 110 different holes in them back pieces. And I'm like,
Oh, that's simple.
"How is that simple?"
Yeah.
And you can tell he only wore like 2 spots in them. And I'm like, I understand that might be simple, but all them holes, I'd be asking 200 questions. Like, what if I go all the way up here? Like,
It's eye candy.
Here's the problem with all them
I
holes.
know, but
One bar moved a quarter inch is a good race car to a bad race car.
Yes. Yeah. I'll say this much. I mean, I don't like all that stuff. I like to keep stuff simple, and I deal with. I'm not a shot guy. And I don't like messing with that. But I mean, I've dealt with running, dual stages and pump springs, all that stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, I just like sticking to simple springs. It's, to me, in the end, it's idiot proof in a way. It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get yourself too far out there. I prefer to run stuff like that. So along with the cars, that's the one thing that everybody would love about Rayburn. It was idiot proof, because he didn't have but a couple holes in it, and that's what made it simple.
Yeah.
And when Freddie come out with the Vision car, he had that little deal. He was trying to make a racer friendly car, and me and Dad talked about it, and I love the idea. But I told Dad, I said, he's not going to sell many of them. I don't feel. And he's like, "What do you think?" I said, "It's because it ain't got enough holes in it."
Ain't got enough holes in it.
Every
You're right.
racer wants it. They want everything to have as many holes as possible.
It's true.
And if you don't give them, they'll never use, like you said, 2 holes. That's all he moved it. But if you don't give them that ability and that option to do it, they don't want it.
that's like last year. I had a guy call us, and he's like, "Do you have them?" Because on our double shears and stuff, he's like, "You have them birdcage plates that has the 3 holes in the back, 3 in the center, 3 in the front, and the same style on the bottom."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I could probably make them." Well, me and Ricky talked, and Ricky made them. We sent them to him. I kid you not, a couple months ago, I looked at pictures of that car. He's never moved it from standard position.
No.
And we cut him specific plates. And I'm like, okay, just okay.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's got to have all the stuff. They want that option to have all that stuff, even though they will never use it.
Feel like they're getting cheated if they ain't got them holes.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about running just straight up springs and no dual rate and stuff. There's some of that going on right now, where the cars are faster with just straight up springs. If your car is designed to do it, it's fine. Some cars will not work with just a spring on the front. You got to soften it up and get it to go over there.
Yeah.
Some you need plenty of spring over there. It's just how you got your car designed.
Yeah, I think that I struggled with it. I didn't do as well the last couple of years that I have done previously, and it's because we were trying stuff, and that's a drawback to me running. It's because a lot of times, 75% of the time, I'm having to test and experiment with stuff, and with the fact that I don't get to race very often, that's not helpful for me. But we've tried stuff, and I've told everybody I want to keep everything simple. Not everybody at that racetrack is an engineer, and I'm not going to be on that phone calling somebody every time. That's something that tickles me a lot of times. Is I've parked beside guys at racetracks, and they come in to hot laps, they're on the phone. They come in from qualifying, they're on the phone. I'm sitting over here on my pit box. I ain't done nothing to my car. I'm leaving mine alone. Dad says, "What's it?" I said, "Well, it's a little tight right now. The track's gonna come to me. I'm gonna leave it alone." I'm sitting on my damn pit box, and they're over there on the phone. Then they're qualifying 18th or whatever, and I'm qualifying top 5 or something. They'll work themselves out, and simplicity is best.
Yeah.
And I would love nothing more to go back to a car right now that's got 3 holes on the frame, 1 hole on the bird cage, 1 shock mount, and let's see it. Let's race.
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna build that?
I mean, I'll build it, but ain't nobody gonna buy it because they ain't got enough holes.
Well, I know. I'll just go ahead and say it. You've said it already. We've built product that was just basic, simple, priced good where it need to be, and they'll want something completely elaborate that they're never going to use, and then want to pay you twice what it ought to be. And you're like, you can't give them nothing simple because they would think they got to have this. And I don't want to sound like I'm knocking people, but it's just
how it is.
We've tried to make it simple, and it's like somebody else over here does something that's all shined up, and looking good.
The only thing we ain't done is bedazzled the car yet.
Yeah,
Right?
but they want that, and you're like, they'll never use that. It's
Yeah, it's just the way it is. It's the nature of the sport. I mean, they want all the stuff, and they'll never need it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we have our car, and y'all cut our 4-bar plates out and stuff, and I swear to you, I've moved it. I might move 1 bar. I've got to the point now I don't move bars at all on my car.
Mm-hmm.
I might just go and change a little load or something like that, but that's it.
So, what?
Now that you just made all the customers mad.
No, I ain't trying to make nobody
They
mad.
shouldn't be mad.
Hey,
It's not
the
not
truth.
knocking them. It's just that we're trying to explain.
Here's another
that
scenario.
You don't
It's the
need all
truth.
of that.
It's the truth. I'm starting. Dana.
Here's another scenario, and I'm not going to name any names. These are some car builders or chassis builders that are now. You move a bar on their car, you better be knowing how to lengthen and shorten it,
Yeah.
because you're going to put more crossings or take it out of it
Oh,
than
yeah.
you could ever imagine.
Yeah, you gonna move a bar, and it's gonna
thank
change.
you.
I'm telling you.
It's gonna change the rear end alignment. It's gonna change the indexing on the bird cage. Yeah.
There you go. Watch which hole you go in.
Out,
Yeah, I've always been told that.
move one, but change one bolt out in left field.
Yeah, out in left field. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
That was too much for you.
I think we might go to the product spotlight here.
So, what?
Your buddy may be panicking.
Who?
Your buddy. That helps you upstairs.
He done gone. I guarantee it. So Russell, tell us what is what does the future of Russell Brown race cars look like?
Nothing no different than what it is right now. I've been asked that, am I going to build the cars when Dad decides to quit? And I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you. It's going to depend on when he decides he wants to quit, and where I'm at. If I'm at a point to where I can't really race anymore because I don't have the help, and I just can't afford to do it, then yeah, I'll probably do it. I'll probably build the cars. Can I do it? Yeah, I think it's not a problem. I do all the aluminum work, all the assembly, all the setups, everything now. but I'm still not going to try to get into building, a bunch of cars. I don't think I can. Realistically, I can't do it.
No.
I think you have to know your limits, and that would be one of my limits.
Yeah.
Well, guys, here we are. We're going to kick you over to the product spotlight of today's podcast. Today's product spotlight is going to be our bearing kits and our bearing spacers. Starting off is going to be our standard bearing kits. Comes with an inner and outer bearing and a standard blue wide 5 seal. Those you can get online or call us, and you can order them for $24.95 for a kit. Per kit, one kit does one wheel. We also offer our low friction polished REM style bearings. It comes with the inner and outer bearing, inner and outer race, and a low drag O-ring seal for your hubs. Those as well as per wheel. And those start at $84.95 a kit. Now our bearing spacers. You have to know which ones you need, which if you call us, we can kind of help you with that. There's two different options. You have your standard wide 5 3/4 ton bearing spacer, and you also have your 1 ton bearing spacer. The 1 ton bearing spacer is brought to you by DRP, which we also offer 1 ton low drag seals by DRP. And we also offer our 1 ton bearings. We offer them in one inner and outer, and it comes with a bearing and a race. So if you want to order those, call us at 865-354-9669, and we can help you figure out which bearings and spacers you need for your car. Or if you already know what you got, go online, go to ppmracingproducts.com. So, Mr. Russell, tell us who would you like to thank for all that all of your success and all that you do now, even up to today?
I mean, without a doubt, my dad. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing it. Probably in jail or something, prison, one or the other. It's kind of get me out of trouble. Mm-hmm. I ain't had a speeding ticket since I started racing, so that's been very helpful. Okay. Of course, my wife, she's puts up with a lot. Like I say, we don't do nothing. I work, she works. We don't get out. That's kind of one of the things coming up here, taking her up here and letting her look around. Mm-hmm. My kids, they put up with a lot too because I'm not around. And then I've got some guys that's helped me over the years. Robinson Recycling, he's been with me since I started. Langdale Fuel, they helped me out. And everybody, like y'all, all the product guys. Everybody I do business with, everybody's helped me out in a way. I really couldn't do it without them. And that's what I like about, trying where we're at. So I try to work with everybody, and because without each one of us, we all wouldn't be able to be doing this.
Right.
It takes all of us to kind of try to get the sport where it's at, and maybe try to help get it back on track.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mainly them. And everybody else throughout the years. I've had so many people that that's either came to the racetrack with me when I started, or that in the last few years that came and helped with me to track. Because I got a bunch of volunteers, and my brother-in-law will come help now. He's about the only one that really comes. And then maybe a few customers when they're not racing, they might come and hang out with me and help me out. But just everybody, whether. Just to be truthful, whether you like me now or you don't like me, it don't matter. I appreciate all the help that they gave me. Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And just everybody along the runs that puts up with it.
Yeah.
Guys, that is where we're going to end today's podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to tell Mr. Russell here, thank you for coming in and doing this with us.
Yeah,
been a pleasure.
Appreciate y'all having me up here.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of cutting out you might have to do.
A lot.
Yes.
But that's okay, because that's what Mr. Devin does for us, and he's really good at it. So, guys, I want to thank you again for watching all the podcast. All the feedback is greatly appreciated. We get a lot of it every single week, and we absolutely love it. So, like I said, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you haven't already, comment down below who else you'd like to see on our podcast. If you want to find out more about Russell Brown and Russell Brown Race Cars, you can find Mr. Russell here on Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page for Russell Brown Race Cars?
Well, I do have a Facebook page, and I mean, I had a racing page for myself. I'll be honest with you. I usually just answer the messages. I got too much work to do to be spending all the time on social media, so
I like it.
I really don't. You can send me a message. I'll try to get back to you. You can just call our shop, you know.
So if you want to order one of your own Russell Brown race cars or already have one and want to get with him and get some updates or anything, get a hold of Mr. Russell here. Guys, again, thank y'all. For all your racing product needs, go to ppmracingproducts.com. Or if you have any tech help or want to order parts over the phone, call us at 865-354-9669. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.
Hey, subscribe, like, hit that button. Come on, get it up on the wheel. Go in there. You just smell poop or see Jesus. Let's get it done.